Tough to see you in this light, Eddie. Come on over.
Symbiotes, crime-fighting reporters, unlikely friendships, and a hideous red wig? Yep, Venom certainly has it all, but thankfully we're about to lose that ridiculous wig.
That is why we are here.
In one of the first on-set photos, Woody Harrelson appears as Cletus Kasady, and he's had a complete makeover. While his hair is still very red, it seems like Cletus has started taking styling inspiration from Elvis Presley instead of Ronald McDonald, and we're very thankful.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
So, why the new look? It seems like Venom 2 is going to revamp the character after teasing his appearance as Carnage in Venom's end credit scene. And that's not the only thing in Venom 2 that's getting a makeover. Let's discuss what Cletus' new look means for the movie and how Carnage will be making himself a tour de force when Venom 2 hits theaters.
There's gonna be carnage.
(2018's Marvel spin-off Venom was a shot in the dark for Sony Pictures. While the film tapped well-known star Tom Hardy to lead the cast as reporter Eddie Brock, there was still the very real possibility that the Marvel symbiote and his host wouldn't draw enough attention at the box office. That's why it was a bold move on Sony's part to set up a sequel in the end credits scene without knowing if they'd ever get the green light for another film. But you'll never know if you don't try, right? And Sony must be very happy they tried. Venom raked in over $856.1 million worldwide.
It is peaceful up here.
Confirming that the little teaser they set up was going to go forward and transform into a bona fide sequel. And it also opened the doors for some other off-brand Marvel properties to get the Sony treatment, which we'll discuss a little bit later. So the Venom end credit scene was both exciting and a little disconcerting. In case you need a quick reminder, Woody Harrelson appears as Cletus Kasady, who eventually becomes the first and most recognizable host of the symbiote known as Carnage in the Marvel Comics. Cletus is a psychotic prisoner stuck in an isolated cell in a San Quentin prison who only agrees to being interviewed if Eddie Brock is the one asking the questions. While they speak, Cletus tells Eddie, "When I get out of here, and I will, there's gonna be carnage." Well, Sony, you can't really get more direct than that. Now, this direction is all well and good, but what made some fans tilt their head and squint their eyes was Harrelson's cheap-looking curly red-haired wig. While you can't judge a book by its cover, I think we were all hoping that Carnage's host would look a little more sinister. Cletus does have red hair in the comics, but it's typically not so comedic and fake-looking. Woody Harrelson is bald in real life, so the look had to be achieved with the wig.
I'm a natural-born killer.
But still, how can we expect Eddie Brock to take Cletus seriously when it looks like he shops for wigs at a party store? Thankfully, we can all put down our pitchforks and avoid a Sonic the Hedgehog-like request for a redesign.
You guys are the ones that ruined Sonic for everyone! Can't you see that?
Tom Hardy just shared, and then quickly deleted, a first look at Woody Harrelson from Venom 2 on his Instagram. In the image, Harrelson trades the bright red wig for a bright red Hawaiian shirt paired with a dark jacket. The lighting is dim, but his hair still looks red, albeit much more natural and sleek than it appeared in his brief Venom cameo. And is that a necklace around his neck? Looks like Cletus is using his time out of prison to more than terrorize. He's also learning how to accessorize. Cletus's dye job still leaves much to be desired, but we wouldn't peg the criminal for being particularly involved with fashion and self-care anyway. And it's still possible that his curly hair will make an appearance in the film, though hopefully it'll be more chaotic and less clown-like. The leaked image could just be from a flashback or feature Cletus dressed up for an event. We're certainly a fan of the new look, but we'd love to know your opinions, so drop your thoughts in the comments. Tom Hardy is currently on set for the production of Venom 2 and was likely excited to share Cletus' much-needed makeover with fans. But it seems like he shared the image a little prematurely and got a small slap on the hand from the studio, hence the quick delete. Tom Hardy shouldn't feel too bad though. His pic wasn't even the only leaked image of Woody Harrelson on set. And he's even wearing the same outfit in both instances. A video filmed while Harrelson was on set shows him in the same getup trying to escape from the cops. It looks like he's actually supposed to be eating bullets as they're fired at him, which sounds insane but makes perfect sense if he has an all-powerful symbiote protecting him. At least we can confirm that this look comes after Carnage and Cletus have bonded. But what's the most important aspect of these leaked images? It's quite simple. Actually, it's the color. Red hair, red shirt, it's all very in theme with Carnage's very red form in the comic books. And it's sure to provide some nice contrast next to Venom's black goo. While we can get on board with a slightly terrible wig, we would absolutely ride if Cletus' red reputation wasn't upheld. So far, we've only seen one of Cletus's outfits, but expect the red theme to carry through into other areas of his wardrobe. Even just a quick sneak peek gives us a few hints about what we can expect from Carnage in the new movie. First of all, the film has a new director, which might explain why Cletus got a makeover. Andy Serkis, who directed Mowgli, Legend of the Jungle, replaced Venom director Ruben Fleischer, so the tone of the film could end up being a lot different than its predecessor. But the hair change could be much more simple than that. If Harrelson was a last-minute addition to Venom, maybe the wardrobe department just didn't have time to find a better wig. As for Carnage's rightful role in the film, we can expect a villainous and intense demeanor to overshadow Cletus's joyful fashion choices. Due to the complicated sharing situation Sony has going on with Marvel's Spider-Man, the web-slinging boy wonder couldn't really appear in Venom as the hero to match Tom Hardy's villain. So instead, the Eddie Brock/Venom combination ended up being both heroic and villainous for most of the film. That is until Carlton Drake became the symbiote Riot and turned out to be the biggest baddie of all. In the end, Eddie learns to live in harmony with his rebellious symbiote buddy. And while that's very touching, Venom 2 is going to need a remarkable villain to set the tone for Eddie and Venom to really become the good guys. So, why is Cletus Kasady perfect for the position? Well, for starters, the criminal is extremely deranged even before Carnage gets involved. In the comics, Cletus merges with Carnage, who happens to be one of Venom's symbiote offspring, during a prison escape. And the reason he's in prison in the first place is for repeated homicide, so there's that. Carnage has an urge for destruction, and Cletus Kasady is depraved and obsessed with power, which makes for a pretty dangerous combination. Cletus welcomes the company because he had a tragic start in life. He was an orphan who eventually burned down his orphanage. When Carnage takes over, he makes sure to let Cletus know that there is only Carnage. But Cletus's enhanced abilities seem to make him think that the trade-off from being a prisoner to being a host is totally worth it. After all, Carnage gives Cletus superhuman strength, the power to shapeshift, and the ability to mold the symbiote substance into incredible weapons. What deranged criminal wouldn't want this convenient power-up? But despite his remarkable and terrifying abilities, don't expect Carnage to take on the important role of villain all alone. Bond star Naomi Harris has been cast and is rumored to be playing the character Shriek, a villain from the comics who also happens to be Kasady's love interest. Shriek, whose real name is Frances Barrison, uses her psychic powers to increase chaos. She seems like the perfect match for a criminal maniac possessed by an alien, right? Cletus and Shriek may even be imprisoned together at the start of Venom 2, because at one point in the comics, Carnage helps her with her own little prison breakout. But it's not like Shriek needs Carnage to help her very often. She gets her name from the powerful sound waves that she can conjure to both blast away enemies and allow herself to fly. Plus, she has the power of dark empathy, which can make people's darkest sides come to light. Perhaps she'll rope Venom and Eddie into a few criminal acts before the film's end. Now, the movie's definitely going to make some huge changes from the comic book. For one, Venom technically gives birth to Carnage while at the prison, while Eddie Brock is also a prisoner. Since Eddie isn't thrown in prison during Venom, we don't see Sony tackling the scene quite so literally. Plus, in the comics, Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four are part of the team that tries to take down Carnage. It's likely that due to all these studio contracts, Eddie Brock will have to team up with some different Marvel characters to take on the symbiote. Venom is only one of several characters from Marvel's Spider-Man that Sony is basing new movies on. The next release will be Morbius in July, which stars Jared Leto as the living vampire. The movie seems to be kind of a spin-off to Venom, and the reveal of Michael Keaton in the trailer seems to suggest that the villain Vulture, who appeared in 2017's Spider-Man Homecoming, will connect the two films. There's even some Spider-Man graffiti on a wall as Jared Leto walks past, suggesting a connection to the end of Spider-Man Far From Home, which, spoiler alert, left Spider-Man in a tricky situation as he's framed as a villain by Mysterio. In addition to these not-so-subtle clues, the trailer boasts the film's connection to the production of both Spider-Man and Venom with some handy title screens. These hints can't really get any clearer, guys. There are a couple of rumors that have spawned thanks to the trailer. First, Carnage might make an appearance in Morbius. Since Morbius is in prison at some point, crossing paths with Cletus Kasady isn't out of the question. The movie could even briefly explain how Carnage and Cletus bond. In the meantime, the original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man trilogy, courtesy of Sony, can be used for a nice walk down memory lane. Or maybe even a complete rewatch of the new Marvel Spider-Man movies is in order. You know, to look for even more clues about Venom 2. But what we're certainly going to do, and you can feel free to jump on the bandwagon, is rewatch that Venom end credits scene and say a very satisfying goodbye to that ridiculous red wig. We hope we never meet again.
Alright.
Are you as excited as we are about Cletus Kasady's new look? And what do you expect Carnage to look like when the symbiote finally makes his on-screen appearance? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to CBR for more.